1901. The story of the Western Shore clipper ship is one of many hidden gems to be found in the Bay Area's rich history. This summer's centennial celebration in North Bend sparked renewed interest in the local ship. That's when a member of the historic Simpson family met with local model shipwright Steve Priske.
I found out that the Simpson shipyard built 40-some tall ships. On the 4th of July, because North Bend had its 100th-year celebration, Mr. Simpson here came up for that celebration. And I had a meeting with him where we discussed possibly building a model of the Western Shore for his family.
On Thursday, Priske presented Michael Simpson with a 4-foot-long exact replica of the ship, originally built by Michael's grandfather. Asa Simpson, one of the developers of the lumber industry in Coos Bay, was also an early anchor for the foundation of North Bend. But the former New Englander made history by building the Western Shore.
I think the Western Shore was built to show his New England friends that the West Coast was capable of building a good, big, full-rigged ship.
There was only one clipper ship ever built on the West Coast in the United States, and that's the Western Shore. The Western Shore was such a stout ship and so well sparred, in other words, she had very large sails, that she set sailing records to England that have never been beat to this day.
The Western Shore was built and launched in 1874 and sailed around the world for 4 years before being wrecked near San Francisco in 1878.
And thanks for watching. I'm Kelly Castagno with your local news. More about the history of tall ships built in Coos Bay. The Coos County Historical Society, Coos Art Museum, and model shipwright Steve Priske teamed up for a weekend presentation piecing together a missing chapter of maritime history.
Enough to me, when I moved up here 2 years ago and started doing research into the history of tall ships, I didn't find anything. And then after about a year and a half of knocking on a lot of doors, all of a sudden I found this incredible collection of photographs that documents that there were over 56 tall ships built in Oregon's Coos Bay. Many of these ships bigger than the very world-famous Cutty Sark that everybody knows about. So for a period of about 45 years sailing in and out of Coos Bay, it must have looked like New York or San Francisco with dozens and dozens of tall ships. This is an absolutely incredible story.
Priske uncovered the story after a woman contacted him explaining she saw a news segment on KCBY that had aired about a model he was building of the Western Shore. She asked if he would be interested in taking a look at a basket of old photos her friend had left
West
her.
passed away a couple of years ago, so his collection has stayed pretty much stored ever since then. In this collection, I found photographs documenting literally all of the tall ships built on Oregon's Coos Bay, all 65 of these ships. So it's just a fantastic find. My hope is to make sure that this stays in the public eye from here on out.
Priske is hoping to publish a book documenting his findings this December. And thanks for watching. I'm Carla Castagno, and welcome to another edition of KCBY People at Noon. This afternoon, Steve Priske is here with us. He is a model shipwright. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Carla.
And Steve's been here for about 2 years.
Exactly.
And in that short amount of time, you've uncovered a pretty amazing story.
It's actually pretty astounding. In the last 2 years, I've not only been commissioned to build a very special ship model that was the pride and joy of the people of Coos Bay, a ship called the Western Shore, but also a huge wealth of photography has come my way depicting all of the tall ships that were built in Coos Bay in the late 1900s.
Now, this is pretty fascinating because before this time, before these photos were found, there was no documented history of these tall ships.
That's exactly right. Well, they've been documented just briefly in historical books, in writing, but nothing in photography. And believe it or not, there's a huge wealth of photographs depicting many of the tall ships built in Oregon's Coos Bay. An example is this one here, the schooner Churchill that's leaving the North Bend facility of Captain Simpson.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about this ship and...
Well, to give you an example, you notice that this ship is fully loaded with lumber, so she's obviously a large lumber ship, and she's just about 200 feet long. Well, most of the famous clipper ships that we've heard of over the years, such as the Cutty Sark, are about 180 feet in length. So this is a true world-class tall ship. All of the ships that were built here sailed literally around the world.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at some of the other photos.
Here's another photograph of one of the more popular ships in the collection that I've put together, and this one's called the Gardner City, another famous three-masted barkentine built at the Simpson shipyard. And this one, as you see, is painted white. The reason for that is that Gardner City was also known as White City. So in commemoration of that, this ship reflects that look.
How did you come across all these photos?
It's quite interesting. After I built a ship model of the Western Shore, I was contacted by a lady who owns a retirement home, and she told me that she had a vast collection of photographs in a basket that had been left behind by a gentleman who passed away a couple of years ago, a gentleman named Victor West. So I've been given access to this photo collection, and I've been restoring all of these photographs digitally so that they're preserved forever.
Well, tell us about this photo here.
Well, this is pretty interesting. Here's a picture of the Gardner City. Believe it or not, they had a mid-ocean collision. Can you imagine, out in the ocean about 600 miles offshore on the way to Hawaii, another schooner ran into the Gardner City, causing the damage that you see here. Well, they managed to limp her back to shore, and the ship was eventually laid up. But she's an absolutely beautiful ship, and from this unfortunate shipwreck photograph, you get to see some of the look of the hull designs of these ships that were built on Coos Bay. Here's another photograph. You know, when ships are wrecked, they don't move very fast, so it's easy to get these high-quality photographs. This one here is the Marconi, which was wrecked underneath Sunset Cliffs, and much of the wood that was salvaged off the Marconi and used out at Shore Acres to build some of the facilities out there.
How big was this ship?
This one is just over 200 feet long, a very large ship, and she made 7 or 8 voyages out of Coos Bay before this unfortunate wreck happened. Carla, it's amazing. There were over 56 tall ships similar to this one built on Oregon's Coos Bay. There's no other shipyard on the west coast of the United States that ever built that large a number of tall ships.
And no one's ever made any kind of a deal out of this before. This last photograph is one of my favorite ones, simply because of the story behind it. This is the schooner Illumina, another schooner built here at the North Bend facility of Captain Simpson. The Illumina sailed for the Simpsons for about 25, 30 years. Well, just after Prohibition was over with, she was sold to an Alaskan brewery. And as the story goes, people in Ketchikan, Alaska, when the whistle would sound at the end of the day and work was done, they used to tap each other on the shoulder and say, "Hey, let's go out to the Illumina and have a schooner of beer." Ah.
So who knows if the term schooner of beer is actually attributed to a Coos Bay tall ship.
Wow.
But this is just an example of many of the stories behind this fantastic collection of photographs, and my intention is, by Christmas of this year, to have a large book entitled The Tall Ships of the Coos Bay to document this entire story with these rich photographs.
About how many photographs are there?
There's well over 1,500 photographs that document this history, and we're very, very happy that the Coos County Historical Society and the Coos Art Museum have taken it upon themselves to preserve these photographs so that anybody in the community can have access to them and use them.
Okay. Well, just in closing, you're planning on putting a book together coming up this December. Go ahead and tell us about it.
That's correct. I want to do a large coffee table-sized book that will depict all of these fantastic ships in very nice photographs. And I hope to have that out by Christmas of this year.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Steve.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again tonight. News at 11.
This model, and Dick and Judy Wagner are going to come forward and explain this wondrous boat, ship, schooner. What do we call this? It's a ship. This is a ship. Okay.
Mayor and members of council, I'm Judy Wagner, live in North Bend. I'm going to just take a moment. This is the Western Shore. She was Oregon's most famous ship, and she was the pride and joy of Captain Asa Simpson, who had her built here at North Bend. She set world records, and she's a tangible reminder of our area's very important maritime heritage. And I would like to introduce at this point the very talented model shipwright who brought her to life. I'd like you to meet Steve Priske, and he's going to say a few words. I might just add that Dick and I, at some point in the future, will see that the Western Shore belongs to an independent city of North Bend, but we're not quite ready to let her go just yet.
Good evening. My name is Steve Priske. I'm a model shipwright, as Judy said. I moved up here to the Coos Bay, North Bend area about 2 years ago from Santa Barbara. And primarily I moved up here just to do a little bit of research to find out about ship history from this area. And right away I realized that there were a lot of ships that were built in this area, but I was quite surprised to find out that you folks here have a tremendous claim to nautical heritage that I haven't found in any books, historical books, ever. I have found that there's a lot of books that are written about the ships from this area, built in the area, but most of them are regionally published books. And when you start looking outside of this area for the history of tall ships being built, you don't find the Coos Bay, North Bend mentioned at all, surprisingly. To give you an example, these are the two historical volumes that most people look through to find out the history of clipper ships. And there's about 600 ships mentioned in here. Not one of them is mentioned from Coos Bay, North Bend. Now, is that a big deal? Well, the Western Shore, as Judy pointed out, was a very large ship. She was a true clipper ship, about 200 feet long, and she was built right here. After I completed this, actually the first ship model of the Western Shore I built, I was commissioned by the grandson of Asa Simpson, Michael Simpson, to build it. Amazingly enough, he went into the family archives and he found the original shipyard blueprints for this ship, hand-drawn on onion skin, about 17 feet long. And from that, he commissioned me to build this model of the Western Shore, a model. Dick and Judy Wagner then had me build a second model of the Western Shore, the one that you see here. Now, that was a fantastic story when I learned that there was indeed 600 clipper ships built on the east coast of the United States. On the west coast of the United States, there's only one clipper ship ever built. That's the Western Shore. So that's a pretty big claim to fame. But then researching into the story a little bit further, sure enough, I ended up finding out that there were over 260 tall ships built on the Coos Bay. 50 of those ships would be classified as clipper ships, as big as this ship right here. Now, in England, for example, there were, over the entire period of tall ship building, maybe 600 tall ships built in England. Another 600 equivalent ships built on the East Coast. To be able to claim 200 plus ships built on this day is a significant piece of that history of the world's tall ships, and yet not one history book records that fact. I'll pass it on to the council members. I put together just a little comparison because folks around here are fairly familiar with one tall ship that visits here regularly, and that's the Lady Washington. Well, the Lady Washington is about 100 feet long, which in today's world we call that a tall ship. Back in the late 1800s, any ship under 150 feet in length would really not be classified as a tall ship. It should be considered a schooner or a coastal ship that would fly the coastal waters. But to be able to go across open ocean, to go to every port in the world, you needed a ship 150 feet or longer. Well, sure enough, there were over 56 ships of that size launched and built on the Coos Bay. The best part of this story is that after I completed the first model for Mr. Simpson, a lady that owns a retirement home contacted me, and she said, well, we were the caretakers for a gentleman up until he passed away, and I'm sure everybody around here knows him. His name is Victor West. And Victor West's grandfather grew up in North Bend and apparently started collecting photographs of these 56 tall ships that I'm making reference to pretty much as they're being built. What's ended up happening is that entire collection has ended up in my lap. And I've been able to restore a lot of these photographs of all of these ships that were built here. And so my intention is by this time next year to have a large coffee table sized book similar to this one depicting all of the tall ships of the Coos Bay. This is a good example of what I'm referring to. This is a book dedicated to ships on the West Coast, Pacific Legacy. And all of the pictures in this book, although they're beautiful, none of the ships are built on the West Coast. These are all East Coast ships that happen to be out here, so they photographed them and they put them into this book. The book was put together by the San Francisco Maritime Museum, and it's another testament to the fact that the pictures and the historical records of the ships built on the Coos Bay are not available even to the San Francisco Maritime Museum, or they certainly would have included them in this book. So it's sort of fun, and it's a great story to be able to show people that this is just a very small sample of some of the restored pictures that I've been able to put together. First off, this is the painting that the Simpsons provided me of the Western Shore. This is the family painting that they have, and it's from this that I built the model, including the ship arch schematics I mentioned earlier. But this now these are some of the pictures of the other tall ships on the Coos Bay. Here's for example, the Churchill sailing out of North Bend Harbor, or the Old Town, I guess is that it's called, the Simpson shipyard. And as you'll see, the Churchill is every much as graceful a ship as the Western Shore. and certainly she sailed all around the world. Here's another depiction of another ship at the Simpson shipyard that I was able to restore. Keep in mind the original photographs are only about this big, and in many cases they've faded away and you can't make out a lot of the details. But by cleaning them up in a computer program, I'm able to restore these. And here's a great example. Here's the Echo, 186 feet long ship. She's definitely considered a world-class tall ship and sailed to every port in the world. The reason that none of these ships are recorded in history, one of the reasons, is most ship owners had their ships insured. And so Lloyd's of London or some other similar insurance company would record the comings and goings of those ships. And now filtered down through history, we can track back the history of those ships. Well, Asa Simpson didn't believe in insuring his ship. So whenever he suffered a loss by a ship sinking or having a collision, he simply wrote it off. But that being the case, none of the places, for example, in Liverpool, where this ship docked several times, none of them recorded her arrival or departure because they didn't care, because she wasn't an insured ship. But as you see, over the next couple, 3 months, I hope to restore the entire collection that I've been given of these tall ships of the Coos Bay. And of course, one of the features, and I think people around here have probably seen this photograph, the North Bend Band. And this band was assembled many of the times when the ships were launched. They would have a band dockside, liven up the festivities and so on. And of course, this band was used for dances and so on as well. But that's all part of the story. As you see on the top mast, the main mast of the ship is the Simpson Company flag, the diamond S. And of course, that's the same thing that you see on the rung of the band. So that tells you that Simpson probably sponsored the band. Anyway, that's the project that I'm working on. And oh, one last thing. This is the reason that I found the project, is because of the North Bend Centennial paper. Were it not for this, I would never have learned about the Western Shore. The article that Dick and Judy Wagner wrote in the back is what grabbed my attention. And following that, I contacted Michael Simpson, the grandson of Asa Simpson, and that's how this all got started.
Amazing. Where did you pick up your copy?
Dick and Judy Wagner. Well, actually, no. The first one that I found was at a laundromat.
Locally here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was one of our key locations. You know, there's not much I like better than passion and enthusiasm, and you exude it. And when you have a passion and enthusiasm for something that I love, it's even more important to me. I have a feeling I can listen to you talk forever, and I have a feeling maybe you could talk forever. And, you know, that's...
I don't have a short version of anything. However, the last thing I probably should leave everybody with is that the Coos County Historical Society has picked up on this story that I've uncovered to the extent that they're putting on a big fundraiser February 29th at the Mill Casino. And you're to contact the Coos County Historical Society to find out further details. I'm simply one of the speakers. But I'll be doing an even longer presentation there about the story of the tall ship.
And Michael Simpson spent some time with us this summer when we celebrated our centennial. How many man hours would you say you had into this?
This particular one took me about 1,400 man hours. The first one I built for Michael was without sails. And it was quite common when a tall ship would harbor for any extended period of time, they'd take the sails down completely. So that's not an inaccurate way to depict the ship. However, the Wagners wanted the ship with the sails on furled. And that's what this one is. So that took a little more time. So this one took me 1,400 hours. And I build them completely from scratch. It's a plank-on frame, exactly like the real ships were. It's it's hard for me to get across to people the incredible legacy that the people of North Bend have. There are communities like Baltimore and Boston where they have claimed the same one or two ships that were launched from there. And today they've recreated a ship or two to represent that. You folks have 56 of these to claim as part of your heritage. That's a very big story, and nobody knows about it outside of this corner of southwestern Oregon.
Thank you very much for reminding us of our heritage as we take it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
That takes us to item number 6, as is policy with this
volumes that most people look through to find out the history of clipper ships. And there's about 600 ships mentioned in here. Not one of them is mentioned from Tuesday North Bend. Now, is that a big deal? Well, the Western Shore, as Judy pointed out, was a very large ship. She was a true clipper ship, about 200 feet long, and she was built right here. After I completed this, actually the first ship model of the Western Shore I built, I was commissioned by the grandson of Asa Simpson, Michael Simpson, to build it. Amazingly enough, he went into the family archives and he found the original shipyard blueprint for this ship, hand-drawn on onion skins, about 17 feet long. And from that, he commissioned me to build this model of the Western Shore, a model. Dick and Judy Wagner then had me build a second model of the Western Shore, the one that you see here. Now, that was a fantastic story when I learned that there was indeed 600 clipper ships built on the east coast of the United States. On the west coast of the United States, there's only one clipper ship ever built. That's the Western Shore. So that's a pretty big claim to fame. But then researching into the story a little bit further, sure enough, I ended up finding out that there were over 260 tall ships built on the Coos Bay. 50 of those ships would be classified as clipper ships, as big as this ship right here. Now, in England, for example, there were, over the entire period of tall ship building, maybe 600 tall ships built in England. Another 600 equivalent ships built on the East Coast. To be able to claim 200 plus ships built on this bay is a significant piece of that history of the world's tall ships, and yet not one history book records that fact. I put together just a little comparison because folks around here are fairly familiar with one tall ship that visits here regularly, and that's the Lady Washington. Well, the Lady Washington is about 100 feet long, which in today's world we call that a tall ship. Back in the late 1800s, any ship under 150 feet in length would really not be classified as a tall ship. It would be considered a schooner or a coastal ship that would fly the coastal waters. But to be able to go across open ocean, to go to every port in the world, you needed a ship 150 feet or longer. Well, sure enough, there were over 50 ships of that size launched and built on the Coos Bay. The best part of this story is that after I completed the first model for Mr. Simpson, a lady that owns a retirement home contacted me, and she said, well, we were the caretakers for a gentleman up until he passed away, and I'm sure everybody around here knows him. His name is Victor West. And Victor West's grandfather grew up in North Bend and apparently started collecting photographs of these 56 tall ships that I'm making reference to, pretty much as they were being built. What's ended up happening is that entire collection has ended up in my lab. And I've been able to restore a lot of these photographs of all of these ships that were built here. And so my intention is by this time next year to have a large coffee table-sized book, similar to this one, depicting all of the tall ships of the Coos Bay. This is a good example of what I'm referring to. This is a book dedicated to ships on the West Coast, Pacific Legacy. And all of the pictures in this book, although they're beautiful, none of the ships were built on the West Coast. These are all East Coast ships that happen to be out here, so they photographed them and they put them into this book. The book was put together by the San Francisco Maritime Museum, and it's another testament to the fact that the pictures and...
Absolutely. Can it have more than enough room for...
Number is a 40.
Wow. Really?
Your sleep number is?
Okay, 75.
I like that.
Can you
That's
feel
good.
it? Okay, now I'm going to have you guys switch sides.
Trade sides.
Oh. Over, under. Okay, now how does that side feel?
This is
It's
too
like
soft.
a rock.
You like it this soft?
I did,
A
yeah.
little bit mushy for me.
Trade me back.
Guess we got some dissimilar interests.
Which is the hard thing about like when you get married. If you're looking for a more traditional bed, you each want different things out of it.
Yeah, and this way we'd sort of have the best of both worlds.
Oh, God, it's really comfortable.
This bed rocks.
Yeah, it's great. I love it a lot.
What separates Select Comfort from other bed makers is not just the sleep number technology, it's also their participation in independent studies that explore the science of sleep. In a clinical study conducted at Stanford University, researchers compared the sleep number bed to premium innerspring mattresses, and the results: test subjects fell asleep faster, they awoke less often during the night, and they reported significantly better sleep quality on the sleep number bed. In fact, nearly 90% of them spent more time in the deeper, more recuperative stages of REM sleep on a sleep number bed.
I've noticed a lot deeper sleep. Previously, on our innerspring mattress, I would wake up, a couple times a night, kind of restless. But now I sleep very deeply, sleep the entire night, and wake up feeling rested and ready to go.
One of the nicest things that I've noticed sleeping on the sleep number bed is that I'm actually dreaming again. I don't think I've dreamt in such a long time.
In another clinical study conducted by researchers at Duke University, after just 1 week on a sleep number bed, study participants reported they spent less time awake in bed, they experienced a better quality of sleep, and they woke up more refreshed. So, in study after study and from satisfied customers around the country, the message is pretty clear. The sleep number bed can help nearly everyone, including those people suffering from chronic back pain.
I've battled chronic back pain for the last 25 years. With the sleep number bed, I know I'm going to get a good night's sleep.
I switched from an innerspring mattress bed to a sleep number bed, and my back pain went away.
Now that I'm sleeping on my sleep number bed, I wake up feeling refreshed. I don't have the headaches, back aches, or neck pains that I used to.
In recent clinical studies, an amazing 93% of back pain sufferers who slept on a sleep number bed reported that they experienced back pain relief. 93%.
When Select Comfort approached the Sleep Fitness Center to conduct a clinical study, we arranged with 3 clinics in the Minneapolis area with 90 patients. The results of those 90 patients participating in the study were very significant. We reported over 77% improved overall vitality, 89% reported improved sleep quality, 93% reported improved low back pain. One patient was particularly interesting in the sense that when we came back to put them on their old bed, they said, "I'm stopping the study. I will never go back on my old bed. Never. You cannot take this mattress out." Statistically, getting 90+% improvement demonstrates that Select Comfort sleep surface clearly made a major difference for these patients.
We were waking up with severe back pains, both of us, only 3 years after we got our bed. The change that I've noticed on the sleep number bed is that I don't wake up with back pain at all anymore. Even being 7.5 months pregnant, I have no back pain.
On my old innerspring mattress, I could never find a comfortable position, and I would wake up with back pain. Now that I'm sleeping on the sleep number bed, the pain is gone.
If you're someone who's tired of being tired, then I'd like you to meet Elizabeth and Mark. They're a couple who've had their share of sleeping difficulties.
Mark and I are both attorneys, and we are parents to our 2-year-old son, Benjamin. The type of work I do requires that I go to court a lot, and that means that a lot of times my schedule isn't my own and that it's very hectic. I change gears throughout the day, and the work I do does require that I'm clear-headed, and sleep is very important to me, especially if I'm in the middle of a trial and I have really long hours. But at the end of the day, I want to come home and I want to be fresh and I want to be ready for Benjamin and my husband, and I want to have good family time as well.
Like most of us, they blamed their sleep problems on their hectic lives, not their bed. Now, we wanted to prove to Elizabeth and Mark that their old innerspring mattress just might be the culprit. And to do that, they agreed to switch from their innerspring mattress to a sleep number bed. Hi, Mark, Elizabeth, welcome. To show that your old innerspring mattress wasn't giving you a good night's sleep, you graciously allowed us to videotape you in your home, right? Well, it seems like you weren't too comfortable in that old innerspring mattress of yours.
No, we weren't. It seemed like we tossed and turned most of the night. When I would turn, Mark would turn. And it never felt like I got a very good night's sleep because I was tossing and turning so much, waking up a little bit each time I would move.
Then we gave Elizabeth and Mark a sleep number bed to see if they could actually get a better night's sleep. So what did you notice? Did you actually feel different?
I noticed that I wasn't tossing as much. I think I've been getting a lot deeper of a sleep. not waking up in the middle of the night. I think on the old mattress I'd notice the clock and think, oh gosh, it's 3 a.m. or 6, and now I wake up and I've never had to look at the clock and see how many more hours I have to sleep.
One of the things I remember is waking up a lot during the night. Since using the Sleep Number bed and changing, I sleep more soundly and I sleep longer at night, and it's much nicer.
I had the same experience. You know, we hear a lot of stories like that all the time, and because of those uncomfortable pressure points, most people do toss up to 60 times a night. Thank you so much for being with us today. That was really great. Yeah.
Thank you.
When you understand the benefits of a Sleep Number bed, it's easy to see why you can enjoy a deeper, more recuperative sleep.
Poor sleep is a quiet villain because it robs you of your vitality. There is a direct link between the sleep that you get and the quality of health that you live. A bed's not neutral. It's either your best friend or your worst enemy every night.
You know, no matter what your age or where you are in your life, you deserve a good night's sleep, and you deserve the energy that you get from a good night's sleep.
I am a career mom, and so I work full-time and take care of 2 small kids, and our days are pretty full. Lots of things to do. So at the end of the day, when it's time to go to bed, I want to lay my head on the pillow and get a full night's rest. The Sleep Number bed gives me the sleep that I need and helps me to feel better in the morning and gives me the rest I need.
After sleeping on a Sleep Number bed, I feel like I have more energy in the morning, and that's important to me. I work a very stressful job, and there's a lot going on in our lives, so it's good to know that I can have that rest.
Between work and school, I need good sleep, and on my Sleep Number bed, I do get good sleep.
My mom had an almost miraculous experience with her Sleep Number bed. In fact, she's the reason I decided to get one. This is my mom, Marilyn. Would you tell us a little bit about your experience with the Sleep Number bed?
I hadn't slept well in over a year. And then I got the Sleep Number bed to try it and see if this really would work. And I was absolutely amazed at the results, the fact that I could sleep all night. There was no stiffness, and I was able to stand up when I got out of bed.
So, what's your sleep number?
It's 30 now. I started with a 25.
I remember that.
But I have moved up to a 30, and it's perfect.
Do you remember buying your last innerspring mattress? May not be a pleasant memory, wandering around from store to store among dozens of mattresses, trying desperately to find one that felt right for you, or both of you, if you're a couple. Well, chances are you spent 10 minutes trying out that bed in the showroom, making a decision that you'd have to live with for the next 10 years. That's why Select Comfort made buying a Sleep Number bed a decision you can sleep on, literally. Try one in your home for 30 nights. Find your sleep number, spend several nights enjoying it, and believe me, you'll see why it'll be the only bed you're ever going to want to sleep on.
Oh, the fact that I had a 30-day in-home trial was the selling point for me.
With the Sleep Number bed 30-night trial, I thought it was great insofar as that I knew what I wanted, but it gave my wife an opportunity to have a kind of a break-in period. I wasn't returning my half, let's put it that way.
Creating a bed that's actually adjustable on both sides is a pretty interesting concept. Don't you ever wonder where these brilliant ideas come from? After painstaking research, Select Comfort developed and patented the unique air chamber technology that is at the core of the Sleep Number bed.
Since 1987, Select Comfort has been designing, sewing, and assembling its own beds right here in the USA, bringing them direct to you with no middlemen. Your assurance of outstanding quality and great value. We stand behind each of the tens of thousands of Sleep Number beds we sell each month, with a 20-year limited warranty and a dedicated customer service department always available to answer any questions you may have.
So which model is right for you? Every Sleep Number bed is backed by a 20-year limited warranty, and there are 4 Sleep Number bed models to choose from. You'll find all the details in the information that you received in the mail.
The Sleep Number 3000, our most affordable model, features a standard firmness control system with 2 individually wired hand controls and a polyester blend Belgian damask fabric cover. It's also available with a European-style pillow top for even more comfort and luxury. The Sleep Number 4000 model offers a durable rayon polypropylene Belgian damask fabric cover over a full 10 inches of soothing comfort and support. The pillow top style features a 4-inch multi-layer combination of high loft fiber fill and convoluted zoned foam padding to cradle you in comfort. The digital Sleep Number firmness control system comes with 1 wired digital remote control. The Sleep Number 5000 is our most popular model. Recent head-to-toe innovations provide even more loft, comfort, cushioning, and support. It also features an additional comfort pad beneath the patented air chambers, a full 12.5 inches of total mattress thickness, 100% spun rayon Belgian damask fabric cover, and a quick, whisper-quiet deluxe Sleep Number firmness control system with 2 wired or 1 wireless remote, whichever you prefer. The Sleep Number 7000, our most luxurious model, features a 100% spun rayon Belgian damask fabric cover and 14 inches of total mattress thickness. The new duvet-style pillow top is filled with a combination of cashmere and micro-denier fibers. It features a revolutionary 3-layer interior foam comfort system, providing unparalleled comfort and support. The Whisper Quiet Deluxe Sleep Number firmness control system is available with either 1 wireless or 2 wired remotes.
When we were shopping for the Sleep Number bed, we were very pleased to find out that it wasn't any more expensive than an innerspring mattress.
Call the number on your screen now, and your sleep consultant will help you find the Sleep Number bed that's right for you and your budget. When you call, be sure to ask how you can take advantage of a special money-saving offer. With our popular convenient credit plan, owning a Sleep Number bed is easy. Payments for a queen-size Sleep Number mattress start as low as $20 a month. Sleep Number beds are available in a full range of standard sizes, plus specialty sizes such as short queen, expanded queen, waterbed replacements, and the recently introduced Grand King Sleep Number bed, which gives you a full 30% more sleeping space than a standard king-size bed.
I am a tall person. I'm 6 feet 10 inches tall. Normal beds are not comfortable for me. We now have the Sleep Number Grand King bed, which is phenomenal. It's long enough for me. I don't have to sleep diagonally. I don't have to worry about rolling over on top of my wife. I can sleep comfortably. I tend to sleep straight at night, and I can sleep completely straight and feel comfortable and refreshed when I wake up.
Its modular design allows one person to take it almost anywhere, even up tight spiral staircases. Try doing that with a box spring. It takes only 30 to 60 minutes to set up your Sleep Number bed. There are no heavy components, and the simple assembly requires no tools.
Assembling the bed was easy. It took maybe 45 minutes. I could do it by myself.
I put my bed together myself. It was really easy.
We felt really proud of ourselves getting it together so easily and all hooked up, and we just couldn't wait to try it.
Order today and Select Comfort will deliver your Sleep Number bed directly to your doorstep with no additional shipping charges. In many areas, we can also set up your new Sleep Number bed and even remove your old mattress. Call to find out if this added comfort service option is available in your area.
The Sleep Number bed is phenomenal. It is the most comfortable bed I have ever been on.
The first night on the Sleep Number bed, we both had one of the best night's sleep we've had in a very long time.
I loved my Sleep Number bed so much. I bought one for my parents, and then I bought one for my brother. And they would never sleep on anything else now. I love my Sleep Number bed, and you will too.
60% of Americans experience sleep problems, and for most of us, it doesn't have to stay that way. The Sleep Number bed is the bed clinically proven to improve sleep quality and relieve back pain. It costs about the same as an ordinary innerspring mattress, yet it lasts twice as long. So join over 2 million people who found the solution. All it takes is a phone call. We have knowledgeable sleep consultants that can answer any questions you have about the Sleep Number bed, and they can help you start your in-home trial. Call us today.
Call now to order and take advantage of our risk-free 30-night in-home trial and 20-year limited warranty. Your new Sleep Number bed will be shipped direct to your door at no additional charge. With our convenient credit plan, Queen Sleep Number mattresses start as low as $20 per month. Don't delay. Call now. How often do I have to add air to my Sleep Number bed? Once you set your Sleep Number bed to your ideal comfort and firmness preference, you can forget it. Unless, of course, you choose to change it. In fact, you can unplug the unit from the wall, and your Sleep Number bed will maintain its firmness level. Is the Sleep Number bed's firmness control system noisy? It's very quiet, and it only runs when you adjust the firmness. So the most you'll ever hear it is when you fill the air chambers for the first time. How durable are the Sleep Number bed's air chambers? The Sleep Number bed's air chambers are designed and tested to withstand over 1,000 pounds and are covered by a 20-year limited warranty. No innerspring mattress can promise you that. How is my Sleep Number bed delivered? Directly to your door with no additional shipping charges. We'll even set it up for you and remove your old mattress if you choose our optional Comfort Service home delivery. Call for availability. What if I decide not to keep it? Give us a call during the 30-night trial and we'll authorize the return. You'll receive a full refund. You pay only return shipping costs. Do I have to buy special sheets, furniture, or bed frames? No. Sleep Number bed models fit standard bedroom furniture, sheets, and frames. We also offer sturdy and attractive legs designed specifically for our foundations.